Connection through conversation. Join self-described conversationalist Stacey Heller as she talks with guests about topics and ideas that are sometimes informational, sometimes inspirational, and always entertaining.
Don't ask me to talk.
From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Join me, Stacey Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
as we talk about what's good to watch, read, see, listen to, and more.
And
I see what you did there. Oh my gosh.
it's a special edition of Stacey Connects and the returning from the grave, Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Exactly. I love it. I love that you did that. All of a sudden I was like, wait, record scratch? What just happened? So, hey, technically, welcome to Stacey Connects. I'm Stacey. I'm joined, of course, today by Eric. I'm very excited. So Stacey Connects is a show about making connections, about asking questions instead of making assumptions, and about my love of engaging with the elephant in any room. Now, I have to say, when you're doing a podcast, you're supposed to talk about things that are evergreen. You're supposed to have it so that you can, you can pick up this podcast at any time and you can listen and it will be relevant. However, how do you do that when you're taping live on Halloween? So it's not going to be evergreen today. It's going to be orange.
I like it.
It's just the way it's going to be.
Orange and black.
Right? Exactly. So as a reminder, thank you, whether you're listening live or you listen later. I so much appreciate you listening. Maybe today we'll get you in the mood for Halloween because, as I said, it is Halloween, so happy Halloween. If you would like to call in and chat, feel free to call 425-373-5527. You can also text or leave me a voicemail at 475-999-2726. So, as you may have realized, so Eric and I did a podcast a little while back called Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we would talk about random things. And today seemed like a perfect time to bring it back. Besides, I miss you being on the show.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course. So I'm going to do sort of a hybrid of what we used to do and what I currently do. There have not been a lot of conversations or observation from the past week because Percy's still missing. So that's a bummer.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I do have it on
Percy is one of your cats.
Yes, Percy is the baby of the three cats. And so that's a bummer. I do have it on good authority from Vicky Draper, who is an animal intuitive, that Percy has not moved to another plane. Percy is still among us, but maybe was snatched up. So it sort of makes me wonder if someone's trafficking my cat. Because she told me I live in Issaquah on the plateau, and she recommended that I look in like the Kelsey Creek Park neighborhood and put up posters. And I'm like, that seems like Percy barely makes it up and down stairs. Like he's very lazy. So the likelihood that Percy managed to somehow hitch a ride that far without help. So, hey, out there, if you're trafficking tuxedo cats, not cool.
Percy, if you're listening, please come home.
Exactly. Oh.
And is he microchipped? And
yes.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
So.
Well, and that's the other thing.
And I assume you've checked with like the Humane Society and stuff.
Okay. I'm glad you asked. So when you chip your pet, if somebody brings said pet in, don't they then contact you and say, "Hey, we have your cat"?
They should.
Right.
But sometimes things go haywire. So
that's true.
It's a good idea to check. When we lost one of our dogs briefly, we found her by looking at the website for the Humane Society in Tacoma, and she was posted up there before we got any contact because it was, I think they still had the old person's contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. I did do that. But then the problem with like doing that and perusing because we got Percy from the Seattle Humane Society. And the problem with that is that I start like cat shopping. And I'm like, no, we're not looking for a replacement cat.
Right.
So anyway, Percy, come home. And then I am going to New York tomorrow for my sister-in-law, Sky Kim's opening at Chase Contemporary. It is called Allure of the Abyss. And her work is just incredible. She does these large-scale paintings, and she's really embraced color. There's a whole underworld mythical theme that she has going on right now. The detail is crazy. And I may or may not be also going because at the same gallery at the same time, Bernie Taupin, who's the lyricist with Elton John, he's also having an opening. So, I mean, I'm going to go hobnob. I don't know what to wear because I know that if I meet Bernie, he's going to be like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I need to write a song about you. Not.
Of course.
Of course. Okay. So that's kind of that. Stacyism for this week. It made me think of all of the scary books that I read as a kid or that I read to my kids. And there's one called There's a Monster in the Closet. And it's, a little kid that's afraid to go to bed because there's a monster in the closet. And how ultimately by opening the closet door, getting to know the monster and befriending it, it was like, oh, this isn't so bad. So it seemed to make sense then that my words of advice would be that most monsters don't warrant the fear that we have of them. Right? Like, I mean, we tend to make things like monsters much more powerful than they actually are.
Yeah.
So there's my advice.
Do you remember that one? There's a monster at the end of this book.
Yes.
I think it's Grover.
Grover.
Right.
Totally. And then there's should I spoil it? There's a mirror. And it's you.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a mirror at the end.
Okay.
And actually, funny thing about Grover, and scary because we're going to be talking about Halloween. My daughter Annie, her single biggest scared thing, and to this day, she is 20-something years old. I'm not going to tell her age because she's not here. She's still scared of it. If I start playing the Monster Piece Theater thing for the 39 Stairs, which was based on an Alfred Hitchcock, whatever, and it's Grover walking up these stairs 1, 2, 3, oh man, I'm getting so tired, and talking about what's at the end of these stairs, and kept talking about the 39 stairs and whatever. She was terrified of that. And so naturally, like any good parent, occasionally I'll play that for her and she's like, stop, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. So,
yeah,
I'm doing a lot for the therapy business.
If all monsters were as nice as Grover, though, I think, monster would be a term of endearment rather than throwing some shade on somebody.
Sort of like what Lady Gaga has done.
There you go.
Followers of her are her little monsters.
That's right.
Well, and weirdly, Annie adored the Count from Sesame Street. She had a stuffed animal of the Count, but Grover she was afraid of. It's fascinating. Kids
did not like flies in her soup.
She did not like flies in her soup.
Grover worked part-time as a waiter in a fancy restaurant for folks that don't get that reference.
And the businessman that was had the round face and
yes,
I can just totally see him. Anyway, I normally take a break here. However, I'm not going to take a break here yet. We're going to talk about Halloween. So happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It is a fascinating holiday that I feel like has just gained momentum, not only in the United States in terms of money spent and time spent, but it's now it's around the world.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, do you know where Halloween actually started?
Of course I do. Halloween was a Celtic holiday and started in Ireland, originally called Samhain. And, and then it kind of transformed a little bit as the Catholic religion kind of took over Western Europe. And so a lot of those pagan traditions got folded into Christian traditions. And so All Hallows Eve is the day before All Saints Day or
Which is
Hallows.
A holy day of obligation.
Yeah. And so, they kind of combined that Samhain celebration with Halloween. And that's what we've got now.
Totally. I was reading the history of Halloween a bit, and it was talking about that Celtic tradition of leaving out food and treats and things like that to placate the spirits. I was like, oh, I like that. I'm placating the spirits.
There you go.
Because this is apparently the night that there is the, let's call it the smallest boundary between spirits and us.
The
if you
veil
will.
is thinnest,
Yes.
as they say.
Yes, that, what you just said.
Right.
Did you know that jack-o'-lanterns also started?
Yes.
Oh my God, of course you know all your Celtic traditions and history.
Do you know what they were originally made out of?
Like squash
No.
and...
No, not squash.
Well, like potatoes.
No, not potatoes.
I have no idea then.
Turnips.
Oh, turnips.
They were originally turnips.
That's so small.
Yeah, but they had some pretty big sized turnips. But yeah, comparative to pumpkins, yeah. And if you ever see like pictures of the old school turnip jack-o'-lanterns, which some people still do in Ireland, they're terrifying.
Oh, no doubt. Like,
so much scarier than the pumpkins that we use today. Because, when people came to the New World, pumpkins were much more abundant and easier to use than turnips. So I think that was a New World upgrade, if you will.
I'm sort of freaked out now to look up turnip jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, yeah, they're terrifying.
Yeah. And pumpkins are, first of all, I didn't know that pumpkins were a fruit. So I learned that today. And then...
Because of the seed rule.
Yeah, I guess so. I
toasted some pumpkin seeds myself last night, and I got to say, they turned out great.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
You know what the secret is?
The salt and pepper.
Well, I mean, in the preparation, besides the seasoning. Yeah.
Using nonstick foil?
No. You boil the seeds in salty water for about 10 minutes, and then you dry them out, and then you roast them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here first. Wow, I didn't know about the boiling thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. I think it just makes them a little bit softer, and then when they roast, they become a little bit crispier. And
Which
so,
I love. Who doesn't like that crisp?
Right. And another, for the seasoning, you can do whatever you want, of course, but I found that Taijin is amazing on them.
Oh, that's like a little spicy.
Yeah, it's the chili lime stuff. So really good.
Okay. You're better at this whole Halloween thing than I am.
I just discovered this last night, so I can't say that.
Okay, so this is not like
a little
your
bit
long...
of experimenting. Yeah, and I was just like, wow, these are better than any of the my failed attempts over the years to make delicious pumpkin seeds.
Tell me about the drying process. Do you do the whole stick them on paper towels, but then they're sticking to the paper towels, or does the boiling stop that? Because you know how they're slimy?
Right. Well, first you want to try and rinse them, get as much pumpkin debris off as possible. And then when you boil them, that further takes off pumpkin debris. Yes. And then when you rinse them, or when you put them in a colander, to drain them, then by that point, there's really not much pumpkin stuff on them. So
because drying them was always even though I rinsed and rinsed.
Well, then the other thing I did is we've got a pizza pan that's got holes in it for a real nice even distribution. So I spread them on that and then let them set for a few minutes, and that drain moisture. Then I put them in the oven at a low temperature to really dry them out before bringing up the temperature to actually roast them. So
this is you're a one-a-day wonder. Wow. Who knew? All right. Well, so you win. Not that it's a contest or anything. Okay. Do you know what the fear of Halloween is called?
There's a fear of Halloween?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes.
What is this?
It is samhainophobia.
That makes sense.
Right? I'm
because of Samhain.
Yeah.
Which is spelled SAMHAIN, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. So you're saying it right. But I'm wow, a fear of how and I, if it's a phobia, man, and it's scary.
Sure.
Wow.
I mean, in a way, it makes sense because Halloween's all about the scary side of things. So if you're going to be scared of a holiday, it would be silly to be scared of Easter. But Halloween, sure, you got all these scary things.
Bunnies. Like, have you ever seen the bunny at a mall, like Easter photo setup?
Sure.
Ooh, that's scary. All right, let's see some other fun facts. Do you know what state produces almost 5 times more than any other state in pumpkins?
I bet it's somewhere where you wouldn't expect. Like, for me, I would think it would be like Vermont, but I'm going to guess it's probably like California.
Illinois.
Wow. Okay, I did not expect.
Didn't see that coming,
No.
right? Do you know what candy corn was originally called?
I do know this, but now I'm blanking. Give me 1 sec.
While you're thinking, I'll tell you that according to some statistic, there's like a candy chart out there. The estimated sales around candy sold in 2023 is supposed to be $3.6 billion. That's with the B, folks. Dollars, which is crazy. It's a lot of candy. Did you figure it out?
Yes. And I didn't look it up, but a picture of something else reminded me. Isn't it like chicken feed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. It is hideous. It is the worst. Well, we'll talk about that because we're going to play a game later. I brought in...
I guess I'm one of the few people that actually likes candy corn, so I can't say that it's hideous.
I like 1 or 2 bites. Well, I'm going to wait because I brought in candy, and what I did is I taped little Post-it notes with questions on them, and one of them is to talk about candy corn. So if we don't get to it, we'll come around.
All right.
Okay. Do you know what else today is? As in, like, so on Don't Ask Me to Talk, we always had like
Right.
what national holiday it is, which they were
Bizarre
all
random holidays.
exactly.
So aside from Halloween, would this be every October 31st or
Yep.
just like okay. I have no idea.
So it's many things, but I picked the ones that amused me. It is also Doorbell Day.
Okay, that
Which
makes sense.
tracks.
Yeah, you need
And
your
Knock
doorbell.
Knock Joke Day,
That could also work.
which means I have knock knocks for you.
Great.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hans.
Hans who?
Get your Hans off my candy. All right. And then
I recently heard about a tradition of I believe this is St. Louis, where
like the place, not the saint.
yes,
Because I don't think there's a St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri. The tradition is when you go to a house, you don't just say trick or treat, you also tell them like a Halloween related joke if you want candy. And,
That's so cool.
And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. I wish everywhere would adopt that. So if we do adopt that, then take note of these jokes
I know.
because this will be perfect for that.
All right. I have another one. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ghosts.
Goes who?
No. Go say boo.
Right.
Right? Yeah. I also looked up who was born today. Peter Jackson, the director.
Yeah, the director of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series and many, many more films.
Mm-hmm. I knew that you would be a big fan. I also picked Larry Mullen Jr., the drummer for U2.
Right.
Picked him because, he's from Ireland and everything.
Happy Samhain.
And ironically enough, John Candy.
Perfect. That's
Right?
Yeah, that's the universe lining up in a way.
It is so the universe. I mean,
yeah, normally happen.
rest in peace. And Vanilla Ice. Because really, that's kind of scary. And then people that died today, Sean Connery, River Phoenix, and it was 30 years ago today, I think. Like, obviously, it was Halloween, but I mean, it was like 30 years ago.
Wow.
Which just makes me feel old.
Yeah, that does not seem possible that it was 30 years ago.
And then Harry Houdini.
Oh, no.
Yes. It didn't just happen. By
I
the
know.
way.
I don't know why I
that.
responded like that, but I didn't think that he died on Halloween.
He did.
Wow.
And he died from an appendicitis that was the result of like him getting
someone sucker punched him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was his thing. He used to say that he could take a punch from anybody in the gut, but he had the disclaimer that, hey, I need time to prepare for this. And somebody came backstage and was like, hey, I heard you can take a punch in the gut from anybody. Whack! And punched him before he had time to prepare. Yeah, and then he died, which is a terrible way to go.
Terrible way, especially as Harry Houdini.
Right. So I'm going to put out the disclaimer that I can't take a punch from anybody, so please.
Sucker punch.
Nobody test me.
Or otherwise, like well-prepared one or whatever.
Right.
All right, let's take a break, and then when we come back, I have our random bowl of tricks and treats.
Love it.
All right, keep listening to Stacy Connects. We'll be right back.
Do you feel like you're stuck in a style rut? If so, take the first step on your journey and go to michaelbruceimageconsulting.com. Fill out their simple personal style assessment and schedule a complimentary, no obligation, 20-minute style consultation. Let the experts help you gain some perspective on your style challenges. Stacy Heller is many things, entertaining yet enlightening. She's a talk show host channeling her inner Fallon. Like Winston Wolfe, she's a fixer who gets things done with style. Practical, like Dr. Ruth. Stacy isn't afraid of the uncomfortable when searching for answers. She's your biggest fan and sees your potential before you do. Most of all, Stacy Heller is a synapse who can connect impulses and ideas about your business and yourself into possibility. To connect with Stacy, go to stacyconnects.com. Stacy Connects. It's her superpower.
Get your daily dose of variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Hey, welcome back to Stacy Connects. Well, or today, as a special occasion, Don't Ask Me to Talk with Eric
Back
Ryder.
from the grave.
Exactly. Woo! It's a not-so-scary conversation about Halloween, and we're going to play a game that's like trick or treat, which the whole trick or treat thing, I didn't realize that it was a thinly veiled, polite threat.
Yeah.
Like, give me a treat or I'm going to play a trick.
Well, speaking of St. Louis, did you ever see Meet Me in St. Louis?
Yes, Judy Garland.
Right. Well, in that movie, there's a pretty good illustration of what Halloween used to be in this country, where it was basically kids just running wild and creating a big bonfire and basically like just breaking stuff and taking it into the town square and just burning it and making a big fire, just wreaking havoc. And so the whole kind of way that we got to Halloween at this point was towns decided, let's come up with some activities that will keep kids engaged and busy on Halloween so that they're not creating havoc. And, a lot of places even back then called it Devil's Night rather than Halloween.
Cabbage Night or Mischief Night.
Yeah. So there was, some people that it said, hey, how about we do a party or a parade? And then, the idea of giving out candy to get people, to walk around maybe and get tired out instead of, going into town and going
mayhem.
nuts. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
It became the thing, which, that's some good problem solving.
Well, and then I recently, and when I say recently, I mean today, read an article about there are some towns that have downright outlawed trick-or-treating for kids of a certain age.
To me, it seems like if a kid is, regardless of what age they are, if they're, taking all the effort to put on a costume and go door to door, why wouldn't you give them candy?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I always have extra anyway that I'm trying to get rid of so I don't eat it all.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. So we'll see.
If you're 35 and you want to put on a costume, come to my door. You'll still get candy.
There you go. Look at that. Of course, you're not sending out your address, but
no. But randomly, if they come,
but
they're still going to get candy.
In our neighborhood, when there were a whole bunch of families that kids were around the same age, and we would have a launching point, we would all have pizza and whatever, and the parents then would go to, or the kids would go to each of the houses in the neighborhood, and then there was always the wagon that was full of like a cooler with beer, and the dads would take the kids and they'd go out trick-or-treating, and the moms would hang out and deal with the rest of the trick-or-treaters. And, and it was sort of like a progressive, like you went from house to house and you were hanging out, and it was a social opportunity.
Yeah.
So, like get creative.
Sounds good.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So we have a big basket of candy here, and I have stuck notes on them so you can pick a random topic, which is what we used to do with Don't Ask Me to Talk, which, by the way, you can still find that wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And you have one of my favorites, and I think one of probably the number one candy on Halloween in the nation now, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yes.
Here.
But you picked one, I think, without a thing.
No,
you
got
it?
a thing. Yeah.
All right, what is it? Dun, 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 dun.
DIY or store-bought costume?
Okay. So now the thing with some of these topics is that there's your kid answer, like when you were a kid, right? And then there's I'm an adult now and I can, like, if I were to go back and do it, or, what I think now. Yeah. So do you have a preference?
I think DIY costume is so much more satisfying than shelling out, $80 for a pre-made costume.
Totally.
That you wear once.
But didn't you always want the store-bought one?
Sure, yeah. But the thing is that broke me of that is that I had some kind of bad costumes that were store-bought as a kid. And I thought, like, the ones my mom helped me with were actually way better than the occasions where I got and they had really bad costumes when I was a kid. They were like all vinyl, and they were like
it was like a lobster bib,
rather than
but like full sized.
Yeah, rather than actually trying to look like the person you were portraying or the creature or whatever. It would have like a picture of the person or character you were portraying on the vinyl suit, rather than directly try and look like their outfit. And then a plastic mask.
Okay, so you are old enough for the bad plastic mask.
Yeah, that would cut in your face with a rubber strap that would always break.
Right, and you wore it over your head like a visor.
You basically had to pull it up over your head like you would your sunglasses, just so you could see where you were going. And then you would pull it down briefly when you got to a house so they knew who you were.
Right, because okay,
and don't stick your tongue in that slot.
Oh my gosh,
for the mouth.
Because you totally would like cut it.
Yes.
And then you're right. I was Cinderella one year. I don't remember really many of mine, but I remember being Cinderella or one of the Disney princesses.
Right.
And the costume, it was totally like this plastic piece of whatever that reminds me now of the material that a lobster bib is made of.
I think it was a little thicker than lobster bib material.
Yeah, not much. All right, so I'm with you, though.
But
DIY.
If you got too close to a jack-o'-lantern, you might have melted.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm a big one for that. I mean, it's amazing how the costume business is just like billions of dollars. Charlie, my 21-year-old, decided to go as Doc Octopus for Halloween, and
these costumes today are so much cooler. They got the built-in muscles and stuff.
Well, he did DIY.
Well, there you go. That's even cooler.
And it's like he's like, I need like pool noodles or something. And so I went to Fred Meyer. They have everything, and they had like the wire foam that you put over like copper pipes and whatever.
Pretty smart.
And he fashioned a whole look, and he got like the steampunk like glasses and the overcoat and the whole thing. And I was like, this is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that's kind of fun. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
next.
pull another.
Yep. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I spent way too much time coming up with questions, by the way.
Gore or thriller?
Okay. So exactly. So I'm talking about scary movies and like assuming that you like scary movies, or even if you don't, because I don't really like scary movies. But if I had to pick.
Yeah, I would say I typically don't watch them the rest of the year. But when spooky season rolls around, that's when I, cram in like 30 days of watching like spooky movies. Yeah.
Okay, so do you like thriller or do you like, and thriller being like suspense, it's not as much the like, blood spatter everywhere. It's like,
I like both.
Okay, if I have to choose, then it's thriller, but I will 100% be wearing like a baseball cap over my eyes, and I can just listen to those movies and get as much out of it. Like I'm just like, I can't. I can't. Yeah. The first horror movie that I ever saw, I was in 2nd grade, and I saw it at Deborah McCauley's house. Yep, still friends with her on Facebook. And she had an older sister, and we watched the movie Carrie.
You know what? I just watched that 2 days ago for the first time.
And what do you think about that for a 2nd grade girl?
I think it's kind of inappropriate for kids. Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That was traumatizing. And then I think the next movie that I saw that was like, there were others that I would like, people would be watching when I was a teenager.
So
and
would you classify that as a horror movie or as a thriller?
Horror.
Okay.
I mean, all blood.
Yeah, and there's a supernatural aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what was the movie with Kathy Bates and
Misery?
Yes. Like
that one's a thriller.
That's a thriller.
Right.
And that one also traumatized me. That's the one where I took Pete's baseball cap, put it on, and had my head in the popcorn and basically listened to the movie and was like, this is enough. I don't know what my deal is. I'm like, I can't. Nope. So,
wow.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Next. Unless you have more to add.
Well, I was just going to say that, seeing Carrie for the first time, because I've seen The Shining before, I was like, Stephen King was really working a groove there at that point in time, because it was like psychic kid,
right?
Having trouble. They got supernatural powers. And, yeah. And then at the end, everything blows up.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Stephen King, like, fascinating man, like, lives in Maine. And is he still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, prolific writer, but it's like, oh, man, you got some stuff going on.
He wrote about like 800 books at that year, I think.
It was crazy.
All right. So I've pulled the gummy bears, or the gold bears, from Haribo, which are gummy bears.
Yep.
But gummy bears must be like a trademark or something.
I think so.
Yeah. Because these are more than just gold. But the question is chocolate or fruity/sour. And I would always go with chocolate, but I do like gummy bears.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like Halloween, there's something about especially the Reese's that is like, it gets a little melty because like, your fat little kid fist that's been like banging around the candy thing all night, the pillowcase and whatever. And like, it's so good. But then it's almost like the next day is like the fruity sour day because it's like a palate cleanser. Well, and then there's kids that like with nut allergies and stuff. I know they have pumpkins out there that are the teal pumpkins. So it's like for houses where there's an allergy, or like kids can carry a teal pumpkin so that and so that you have options for kids that have.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm, that have allergies of some kind. And so the fruity sour type candies are always a fan favorite for them because they can eat those.
That's a good point.
But I do love those. The gummy bears, and possibly like the best. There's this whole thing about reviews on Amazon, and like people write funny ones, and possibly the best reviews ever. And I don't think it's still on Amazon.
The sugar-free?
The sugar-free. Like My husband reading that, like he read it like a bedtime story to my adult children, and he was crying from the reviews. Yeah. So that's a fun one. And it's true. Sugar-free candy kind of jacks you up.
I think, by the way, I think the kids that get these from trick-or-treating tonight are going to be very confused why there's Post-it notes with these conversation starters on them. But
it's like, here, parents, here's some things to talk about.
All right, here's another one here, another Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And is it okay to repeat costumes, or do you need a new costume every year?
Oh, well, are you an adult or are you a kid? If you're a kid...
I'm an adult.
I mean, like, I say if you're an adult, yeah, like you're pulling out, like last year I got a blow-up inflatable...
And I should say neither of us bothered with costumes today.
No. I'm my usual charming self.
Yes.
Say. Last year I got an inflatable frame and you put it on your head and you look like the Mona Lisa, like you're sticking your face through it. And so I'm like, if you've got a costume that you can pull out every year, repeat it. Like, at least you made the effort.
Yeah.
And why not? It becomes kind of like your shtick. Like, here I am. But some people get really into it.
Yeah.
Like, really into it. Like, you see the, like, celebrities. And, you know, I'm like, okay, you have, like, full-on makeup and hair and, like, designers
making
the
film
costumes.
Department.
Right. Like, oh.
The makeup department at the film company they work at.
Right.
Helping them out, yeah.
Like, here's the OG Deadpool costume that you can borrow for the night. And it's like, okay, that's not the same. But, I mean, here's the deal. If you're into it, then no, you always have to do something different. But if you're, like, not really into it and you're kind of phoning it in, then find a costume that you can pull out every year, and then somebody can't say that you're not being festive.
Yeah. I find it tough because I've been tempted to repeat costumes that got like good responses. But for some reason, I just feel like, oh, well, people have seen that. They're going to think it's cheating or whatever. I don't know why. I don't ever repeat costumes, but I should, because I've got maybe like 3 or 4 that I think, yeah, that was actually what I wanted it to be and got the response that I wanted it to be, as opposed to a whole bunch of other costumes that, you know, shall not be spoken of again.
Maybe you could do a mashup.
Maybe. This may be controversial, but I kind of feel like mashups are cheating. And also like pun-based costumes.
Like serial killer?
Yes. I find those depressing, but I mean, more power to you if you're enjoying them and you find it fun and you're getting the reaction you want.
Right.
Just for me, for my own personal taste, I don't know why, but I just don't think they're great.
I will say there is I have a group of friends that are part of the networking group that I was in, and they had a Halloween party over this past weekend, and the insurance guy, John, he's awesome. If you're ever looking for insurance, by the way, Borderline Insurance, the nicest, most ethical stand-up guy ever. And so would not have expected him to dress, but he did. And he was wearing like a suit jacket and a like whatever. And he had like blowtorched it and it was ripped to shreds and the whole thing. And he was mayhem
That's great.
Right?
That's brilliant.
I mean,
and I bet nobody got it except his insurance chumps.
Well, and and then he had a sign on his back that said, like, if you're tired of mayhem, like, contact like
smart.
me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's brilliant,
Absolutely,
and it was so unexpected for him that I guess people at the party were like, "Is he okay?
Right?
Like, did something happen to him? Was he in an accident?" So that's that's clever.
I got to say, like, being in an office environment on Halloween is like the most surreal thing. I mean, it's really weird when you walk past like a conference room and people are full on having like a serious meeting with like videos that they're pointing to and stuff and paperwork and all that. And then just like you've got a witch just sitting there taking part in this meeting, like just with no
And like, a furry like cat
yes, or
that's like whatever
someone
in a onesie,
in a bear
and you're
suit.
like, what?
It's like, it's just, it's surreal.
It's very surreal. All right, so I think we're on the same page about the reusing costumes. Generally, like, if you have good ideas, then like don't reuse it. But I'm also like, I'm gonna pull out if I have to, because I don't know that I've ever really been invited to an adult Halloween party. So I feel like I've missed out on.
I think I did one time, yeah.
So, I'm like, it's a lot of effort to go through.
I think definitely it's okay in the same year to wear that same costume to every event that you're going to that's Halloween oriented.
Yes.
I don't think it's fair to expect someone to have 5 different costumes because they're going to 5 different things.
Right. That's like asking the bride to wear 5 different dresses at her reception. It's like, no, you don't need that.
Maybe there should be like a amnesty, like if it's 4 years later, you can repeat it. I don't know.
I think you need to have that conversation with yourself, Eric.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, got another one?
Yeah, let's find another topic here. Kit Kat, my worst costume.
Okay.
My worst costume. Do you want to go first?
Well, do you know yours off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, today I'm not wearing any costume. So.
Well, that doesn't include not making an effort.
Well, that's true. I will say one year was really stumped for it, and Mom helps out when I was a kid with the costumes. And sometimes she had good ideas, sometimes not so great ideas. But one year, she wrapped me in toilet paper.
Oh my gosh,
as a
tell me
mummy.
It wasn't raining.
No, it wasn't raining. This was Fresno, so it was pretty dry on Halloween. And she made me into a mummy out of like Charmin. And then what happened was I ended up TPing the whole neighborhood because the toilet paper would just peel right off of me just walking along. So I accidentally, TP'd the neighborhood, not on purpose. And by, the end of trick-or-treating, I was like a half mummy. Like mummy pants, basically.
Oh my gosh, that's
a mummy shirt. I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So that's got to be up there with bad costumes.
I mean, yeah, but like you tried.
We tried.
You tried.
Sure.
All right. So I have 2 different answers for 2 different reasons. One is the year that I decided to go as an old lady and put like baby powder and stuff in my hair. That
wasn't this year, right?
Hey. Yeah, it's baby powder in my hair. That's why my hair is great.
Right? Same.
Right? I forgot how funny you are. You're very quick. And that was a horrible idea. Like, I didn't know what to do, and I don't know where my mom was. And she's not listening today, which is why I can say this, because like she's not going to call and yell. And like I put hair stuff in. I mean, it took me like days to get it out. So that was a bad idea. Also, apparently I offended a whole bunch of neighbors. So know your audience. And then the second one, and mostly because there are some costumes that just don't age well, like being a gypsy. And like wearing the skirts and all the jewelry and like the headscarf and the whole thing. Like at the time, it was like that was like the go-to.
Right.
That and like hobo or
people
bum.
were hobos.
Right.
Or they were gypsies. That was the only choices you had.
Right.
Or the vinyl costume. That was it.
Right. Exactly. Or maybe a cowboy. Maybe.
Yeah. But I feel like with a little tweaking, that would still be okay if people said they were a fortune teller from a Renaissance fair, something like that.
There you go. That's a lot of work, though.
Well, you could just say fortune teller, I think, would probably be okay at this point still.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, All right. So conversely, then, your best costume.
Best costume. Wow. I think I've got like 3 best costumes that I can't decide. And they were all as adults because my kid ones, Mom was doing her best. But
right.
They weren't.
Right.
They weren't all that great.
And you were not honest. You were trying to be like a baller on a budget and you had siblings. So like she only had so much time.
Yes. But one year I went as Clark Kent changing into Superman. And I think that was pretty great. I pinned open like my shirt to reveal the Superman logo.
So you were like,
so I'm like mid-changing. I had the tie pinned over my shoulder, and I'm wearing a suit basically with a Superman T-shirt underneath, basically.
That's good.
And everybody got that one. Oh, and I had, glasses too that I took the lenses out of because I didn't need glasses at the time.
Right.
So, that was a pretty good one. And another year, do you know the painting The Son of Man by Marguerite?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the hat and the apple?
With the apple floating in front of the man's face. Yes. So I created that. I just happened to have a green rubber promotional apple that
like you do.
like I do. Yeah, it was foam, I think, actually. And so I attached that to a bowler hat that I had, and again with a suit. And that I thought, dang, that looks great, especially straight on.
Yeah,
it really looked like the painting. And then, like, 2 people got it. And I felt so disappointed.
You know what? People were just not savvy enough to get it. Yeah. That's a very specific thing. But that's amazing. Like, that is, I'm like, I have a bowler hat. I could do that.
You could. Yeah, it's a great costume. And, I'm like, wow. I must be the only person to ever thought of this. And then I look online. Of course, a lot of people had done it. But
and you could bob for your own apple.
Yeah. And it was things that I just had laying around the house, too, which I always think if you can put together a convincing costume with stuff you got laying around the house, that's like the coolest thing.
It's the ultimate DIY. Okay, What's the third one? You said you came up with 3.
Well, last year I did Shaun of the Dead, and I, again, very few people caught it, but I was very happy with how it turned out,
Okay.
Have you seen that movie, Shaun of the Dead?
Yep.
Yeah, so I basically dressed as Shaun, and I even bought a cricket bat off of Facebook Marketplace so that I could have that, and I thought it turned out great.
Committed to the bit.
I made the name tag for 4E Electronics where Shaun works. Yeah, and splattered myself with fake blood. So I thought
That's
it
good.
was pretty cool, but again, who are you?
I'm Shaun.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, so my best costume actually was not for me.
Mm-hmm.
This was me living vicariously through my child. So one year, Grace decided that she wanted to be like a Southern belle or something. And I'm like, all right, we're not going to celebrate antebellum and all this kind of stuff. But she wanted the big dress and the fancy thing. So I showed her the episode of Carol Burnett where they do the skit about Gone with the Wind.
Brilliant.
And Grace was learning to sew at the time. And so she got the whole antebellum dress. And then we found some fabric and a curtain rod, and she wore that. So she was...
That's fantastic.
Carol Burnett being Scarlett O'Hara. And I was like, all right, that's good. And of course, all the parents loved it. The kids hated it because like she kept knocking people with the curtain rod.
Right.
But I was like, Grace, you can get right to the front. And all the adults loved it.
That totally reminds me of the Karate Kid. I don't know if you remember that, but he goes as a shower.
Yes.
And I just thought like how cumbersome that would have been to wear and how annoyed the other party goers would have been getting whacked in the face by Danielson's shower
I forgot about that. Yeah. And it was like the thing with the shower curtain.
Yeah,
and
he had
like
the shower rod and everything.
Oh my gosh.
And the the spout.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah. So
if you're ever stuck for a costume, go, maybe the Karate Kid as a shower.
Yeah, I mean, it's so meta.
Yes.
Right? It's like Inception or whatever. Okay, another one?
Sure.
Let's keep going.
And by the way, I got to give the disclaimer that you don't look like an old woman. That was just a joke.
No.
You look fabulous, as always.
Oh, well, thank you. Lies, all lies.
No. Do you really only take one candy when told? No. Next question.
Right? Like, no.
You take 2.
Of course.
Of course. It depends on the candy.
And it depends on what time of night. Like, is it late into the night?
Yes. Yeah. If it's like 9 o'clock and there's a bowl still full of candy, you take 5, 6. Why not?
Come on. You're helping them out.
And that's my Halloween hot take, which apparently was the next topic.
I mean, yeah, Halloween hot takes. Like the thing that it's like, everybody may disagree, but here's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, mine is the whole like decorating the house like within an inch of its life. Like here's some pumpkins, and when the kids were around, we would do jack-o'-lanterns because we wanted the seeds and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really decorate. I mean, I used to with the kids, so I don't know if it's an age and stage thing or what it is. But I mean, people have like inflatables and the webbing and all this stuff, and I'm like, that is so much.
It's so much work and effort. It's like
so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
because I just think, I'm going to have to take all that down. I'm going to have to put it in storage.
Right.
Do I have room for an 8-foot skeleton? I don't.
Well, no. And
got lots of other junk.
and I feel like I celebrate Christmas. And so Christmas decorations come out typically like after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And that's already another holiday that like I have all this extra ish out for 5 weeks. I'm like, I don't need a full month of Halloween stuff out. And then in the Pacific Northwest, it rains a lot.
Right.
So then all the stuff gets all wet and I don't know. So that's my Halloween hot take.
I'm with you on that. My girlfriend did up the decorations this year, and it looks cool. It looks good. So, if somebody else will do them, I'm more than happy to host them. But let me ask you this. Do you do a jack-o'-lantern? Do you carve one up, or do you got like a pre-cut kind of dealy, or like a
pre-cut.
foam? Well, you know what I mean. Like
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
And heck no.
Non-pumpkin pumpkin simulac.
Yeah. No. Absolutely not. So we used to all go to the pumpkin patch. Mm-hmm. Then as the kids got to be teenagers, it was like, okay, let's go to, like QFC and pick up some pumpkins. And even when the kids had gone off to college, they would send us a picture of the jack-o'-lantern face that they wanted carved in. I think this is the first year that we didn't do that. So I got the cool ugly pumpkins, like the yellow and the white and green and whatever. And so this is the first year in a really long time we won't have a jack-o'-lantern. But I am all about real jack-o'-lanterns. Put in the effort. They have the wonky triangle eyes and the teeth that are coming out, and like they look like they were done by a kindergartner with raging ADHD.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was feeling, I guess I'm just feeling uninspired this year when it comes to Halloween, because clearly I didn't bother with a costume. And I actually got a pumpkin and started to carve it, and I got all the goop out. I did, the seeds, like I said. But it sat there hollow for like 2 days. 2-3 days, actually, with no design on it whatsoever. And I could not come up with what I wanted to do for the pumpkin. So finally last night, I just carved some eyes and a little mouth, and that's it. And it's fine. It looks fine. But
and it's cute
just
that
totally
way.
Uninspired.
And I know that they have the things that you can trace, and you can do all these intricate designs. And I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes.
I don't really have time for that. And I don't know, it's kind of cute when the kids would send their various like pictures and that kind of thing. And I will tell you, one year I waited way too long, and the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, basically caved in on itself. It fell into the dirt next to the walkway. And the next year, I had myself pumpkins and had a full-on pumpkin patch and had 5 pumpkins grow from that. So... hey, guess what comes from pumpkin seeds?
Pumpkins are getting expensive these days. So,
right?
Yeah.
I was
That's smart.
Yeah. All right. Do we have time for one more question?
I think we do. Let's dig deep. Let's dig deep and find one with an actual topic on it. Jack-o'-lantern, or I think we just covered this.
We did that one.
Let's see.
Great minds.
Come on here. My best costume we talked about.
We talked about that. Like, we've talked about these things without even realizing it.
Superstitions.
Oh.
Writings on the wall.
Right? Black cats, which ironically, black cats are my type. Tuxedos, or even all black.
Right.
And, it's the night of all those superstitions about witches and supposedly, I was chatting with my friend Stacy earlier today. Stacy Harris.
Sure.
And she was saying that she was reading about some of these. And apparently if you wear your clothes inside out, then you might see a witch at midnight or something.
What?
Which I was like, well, that's just Pete leaning over in bed and being like, oh, hey, Stace.
I've never heard that one.
I hadn't either, but apparently that's a thing.
All right. Well, look out crisscross.
Right? Yeah.
Or no, they wore them backwards. Sorry.
Yeah, they were just inside out.
Who had their clothes inside out? I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay. In our last minute here, one of the ones that I had in there was sexy with a blank line to see how many stupid sexy costumes there are out there.
A
to
gazillion.
Go back and forth. Do we have any time left?
Yeah.
All right.
We got 45 seconds. So.
All right. So, witch.
Sexy witch.
Cat.
Sexy cat.
Police person.
Sexy police person.
Fire person. Nurse. Doctor.
Uh-huh.
Bunny.
Essentially, if you can think of it, there's a sexy version of it.
Right. Like Little Ho Peep.
Little Ho Peep.
And on that note, hey, everybody, have a happy Halloween. Eric, thank you so much for recreating our Don't Ask Me to Talk show. I had such a good time. Happy Halloween, everyone. Enjoy. Watch out for razors in your candy. Just
urban
kidding.
legend.
Urban legend. It's an urban legend.
That's right.
All right.
Talk about superstitions.
We'll see you next week.